So hello everyone, namaste and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. So today I'm really glad to speak here, and uh, this is not going to be a deep down topic, but just a uh, you know rough, I would say a quick intro to Azure and uh, and its services. Okay, so I think because we have this session on Azure deploying web applications in Azure infrastructure using Visual Studio, that's coming up right after this. So I thought I can talk a bit about the services that Azure hosts and how this is all architected there. So Azure is Microsoft's cloud platform. That's one of the biggest, I would say, the public cloud platform, and in general, without even touching Azure, we can say that Azure has three important layers, where the first important layer is infrastructure as a service, while then the next being platform as a service, the next being the software as a service. I think there are more than this. It can continue. We can continue on and on, but the most important of the list is the three of them. While I think it's very clear from the terms itself, infrastructure as a service, which means that we get we get to use the whole infrastructure, the whole IT infrastructure, the tech infrastructure as a service, and that's the reason why we also call it as the host. It's the biggest platform where the businesses, the individuals can use it as a hosting platform. While if you go into the platform as service, then it's more for the developers, community developers, where it's mostly about about building applications and supporting all of these their applications with available services from the cloud computing platform. So quite similarly, if you move into software as a service, I think software as a service, as it says, that you get the ready-made softwares as a service, and that's what we mean by consumer-ready applications, and something which you can relate to it as applications that's available in the public cloud and which is ready to be consumed from marketplace itself. So if I give an example if I relate this from Azure, then I think Azure Marketplace is the best example for software as a service platform. So I think there's one more slide, possibly makes sense to, there are two more slides actually, but I think this is what really makes sense, why we are using cloud these days. I mean, every organization, every individual is now talking, not just talking, actually, they're like using cloud. Why? Because of the three important reasons. The first being speed. See, I mean, it's it's so apparent that today we don't really have to buy service, the physical service, nor the software servers. Instead, we can just go into a cloud computing platform like Azure, and very quickly, within a few clicks, within 2 to 3 minutes, you can jump start. You can speed up virtual machine, and you can deploy your applications, and you're up. Your applications is running. So that's the speed that we get with cloud. So obviously, it makes sense for us to move to the cloud. That's the reason why we use cloud today. Then the scalability. I think this is very important for us, because one of the really important feature that cloud offers today is the scalability. Because the way we consume cloud is pay per use. We only pay for, or as a developer, or as a consumer, or as a business, we only pay for what we use. Okay, and so one of the important feature that cloud offers is the scalability, because if your requirement is really low, then you can start off small, and then if your requirement grows and grows, then you can slowly increase your services. You can scale it up, and in doing that, I mean, there are two ways mainly how you can do that. Is whether you want to scale it up and down, or scale in or scale out. So, but in general, yeah, the scalability is one of the really important feature and without a downtime, without having to look for additional physical machines, quite easily with a couple of clicks, You can also enable, you can programmatically, you can auto scale without even doing like manual scaling and so on. So that's the other thing that really makes sense. And of course, because of these two things, because of these two factors, it hits towards the economics part, of course, which means, like I said, pay as you go. So you only pay for what you use. So for example, I'm using Azure. My usage patterns shows that, based on my historical users pattern, it shows that, okay, I only need to use Azure in the evenings or in the morning, or maybe only 6 hours a day, which means I'm saving drastically on Azure usage. So that's how I save a lot, rather than investing on the physical data center and all the investment that we put up as a capital expense. So instead of that, we are actually with cloud, we are moving to the operational expenses. So that's one of the really important benefit. And I think just to before I wrap up, I think there's one more slide. So that mainly talks about how you are moving from on-premise to the cloud. How, what changes are actually happening there. So when I say on-premise, which means everybody understands that right from the networking, storage, servers, virtualizations, operating system, you choose everything, you maintain everything, you manage everything, including your data applications, runtime, middleware, everything. But then moving towards infrastructure as a service, you leave it up to your vendor. Like for example, Microsoft, you leave it with Microsoft to manage your network, storage, servers, virtualizations, and then you only care about your operating system, whether it be Microsoft's Windows operating system, Windows Server operating system, or any other operating systems. But at the same time, maybe you might want to use other Linux distros or so on. So, but then if you want to move to, if you're using platform as a service, you just care about your application and data, nothing else. Everything else, including the runtime, the operating system, everything would be maintained by your vendor, like Microsoft. And like I said in the beginning, so as a software as a service, that's absolutely a business model where you don't really care about anything. I mean, because as a developer, you just, you make the software ready and then you publish it. And then as a consumer, they are able to use it. Like I can give you the best example could be Office 65, and we are hosting this webinar with Office 65 teams today. And this is absolutely a software as a service platform where you don't really have to do anything. Everything is everything is ready to be consumed. So I think this is a bit of idea about Azure, and just to let you know that Microsoft has 54 Azure regions around the world across 140 countries, and the most important thing to note is each of these regions they carry multiple data centers, multiple availability zones. Each of the availability zones have again multiple data centers. You can imagine the kind of investment that Microsoft has made across these data centers and regions around the world. And just to let you know that for us, the lowest latency is generally with Southeast Asia region, which is in Singapore. And you can see there that we also have West India, Central India, and South India. These are some of the nearest regions and multiple data centers there. But it all depends on where our customers use. Because if my customers are based out of the US, then of course I look for the US regions and US data centers. But if my customers are in Nepal and maybe in India, and if I'm, targeting the Asian region, of course, I can look for the Southeast Asia region. So with this, I think, thank you so much, Jairaj, once again for the opportunity to speak.
Okay.
And
okay, thank you. So yeah. So I have one question. So why Azure is best? So that's
why Azure is
best.
Best as in?
Best as in infrastructure on cloud computing.
Like why it is best?
Yeah. So there, because this question is of general public. So why Azure?
Okay, why Azure?
Yeah.
Why choose Azure?
Yeah. Why choose Azure?
Okay, so I think the quick response on this would be because if you are a developer, then I think Azure is the best platform to use, because it has you can check out the services that it lists for the developers. For the developers community, there are so many software platform as a service service, cloud services, and that sprawls across, I would say, blockchain services, AI services, cognitive services. I mean, you name it, everything is there with Microsoft Azure, and primarily for the developers. I really don't want to speak more on this, but yes, for if you are a developer, I would recommend you to go for Microsoft Azure.
Okay, so there is one question by Anju. AWS or Azure, which is the best and productive one?
Like I said, if you are a platform as a service user, I think Azure is the best.
Okay. Can I add something here? Okay, as a Microsoft, I think I can add something here. I wouldn't be talking about other cloud services because we don't know all the services there, right? But as a Microsoft, we play with ecosystem, right? Microsoft has born on enterprise world, since its beginning, and we know the pain of enterprise from the data security, from the information security, from the holistic ecosystem, the single sign-on that you might have been using since a long time, Active Directory. So and at the same time, Microsoft has been embracing open source as soon as our new CEO Satya Nadella has been onboarded. You might have heard GitHub has been acquired by Microsoft. The new database, I forgot the name of the new database. It has been acquired by Microsoft. Actually, Microsoft does more than 35% of the revenue from the open source. So if you're open source stack developer, or if you're looking for developing any software for the enterprise, Microsoft is the best cloud service provider for you. And yes, we have a big ecosystem of partner in Nepal where you could actually do the local billing. You can pay your taxes, pay your VAT in Nepal. And also, one of the best value differentiator is if you have any solution with you, please join us as a partner. It's called co-sale motion, with which we will take you to rest of the world. We take your software to the rest of the world. That's how we actually differentiate from the rest of the other cloud vendor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Deependra sir, as well as Pradeep sir.